couple of months ago, I was taking care of like a whole room of kids, and I had this one little boy who's 2 years old, who, when he got dropped off, was obviously really upset because that transition's always hard for little kids. He was really upset, and I found myself wanting to, reassure him, you're okay, and sort of push away the upset behavior in order to calm him down. And it hit me that this approach almost never works. After working with kids all this time, I've tried this over and over and over again, and it doesn't work. So I sort of allowed myself some time to just observe him, not to try to step in and make him stop crying. And it hit me, if I had a friend who was going through something really difficult and they were crying and upset, I wouldn't say to them, like, you're okay, it's fine. That's not showing empathy, and that's not showing respect for another person's pain. And so what I decided to do with this little boy was to get down, on the floor with him, and I invited him to sit with me, and he sat on my lap. And instead of saying anything, I just shut my mouth and I literally just, I was kind of holding him in my lap, and I was stroking his arm in a very rhythmic kind of a way, in a really calm way, over and over and over again in the same spot. And I just didn't stop. And what I realized I was doing was, instead of using my words and my own body language to try to tell him that his being upset is not acceptable, I sat with him in that pain. Instead of trying to push it away, I sat with him in this difficult moment, and I gave him a sense of safety by demonstrating it. Instead of telling him that he was safe, I made him feel that he was safe. And literally, after all this time of taking care of kids, this is the first time this has ever happened to me, and the first time I kind of hit this realization. But I thought it was really important because I think that as adults, we have a lot of moments where we feel the need to fill the space, or to change or redirect an emotion instead of just being present to it. It's an important lesson for all of us to remember to show empathy to children too when they're having these breakdowns, because in the moment it feels like nothing to us. But for them, it's huge. And so to show empathy and respect in that moment, instead of telling them like, you'll be fine, she's coming back, like acting like it's not a big deal, instead to just sit with them and be present with them in that emotion and that feeling in that moment. I think that is how we show respect, respectful parenting, respectful caring, respectful coexistence with these newer humans. Because again, they're humans too. They're just newer to the planet, newer to all these experiences. And so I think the more we can remind ourselves that we don't have to fill that space with words, we don't have to shut that emotion down, we can instead just be with them in it, that is such a significant moment for them and for us. I'm associated with a feeling of safety and security and calm for him, instead of being associated with, the evil dictator who's trying to shut him up from crying because he's upset. So that's, on a selfish level, like, I'm really happy that I get to be associated for him with this moment of security and being given the space to process, his upset feelings. I think that's really significant for both of us. So for all of you parents and caregivers and teachers out there who feel like you don't know what to say in these moments, maybe the key is not saying anything. And maybe the key is just being present and helping them to feel that they are safe, not telling them that they're safe. I think that's the key, is your presence. That's what's needed the most.